Welcome, friends, to the QuakeCon at Home Modders Inc. case mod contest for QuakeCon 2020. Yes, we are in a COVID infested storm. We are stuck at home, but that doesn't stop us. We still find a way. Technology, peace, love, and rockets and case mods always find a way. I'm Craig Tate, aka Tech Daddy. Got here in the stream with me with the honor, the privilege, nay, the God, Dwayne Carroll, American Freak, the runner, the forerunner, the beginner of all things mod. So
Oh
here
yes,
we go.
yes. So true. It's all so true. Even though you just about forgot my name it seems like at a point there.
It was there was a slip, and it was like, no, Craig, you can't do this. You can't do this. You haven't even taken your drugs for the night, so it's not there's no excuse.
Yeah.
But I thought anyway, no, Dwayne Carroll, Dwayne and I, God, how long have we known each other?
Oh,
Jesus.
geez. 14, 15 years, 16 years maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some water there. There's a lot of water and experience under the bridge there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lots of fun. But we love we've loved participating in the QuakeCon modding competition, and we love putting on the QuakeCon case modding competition. It's a labor of love, and it's something that we really thoroughly enjoy. And every year, everything seems to get a little bit better, and everything moves up a notch. And this year is no exception. Even though we're all at home, and even though we're all participating remotely, we had to kind of stretch the rules a little bit and kind of open our minds and open the scope of submissions, so to speak. And since it's an online case modding competition, we got submissions from all over the place. And I think you guys are going to be really impressed with some of the work that came in this year. Some really, really unique and beautiful case mods for us to look at this year.
Yeah, I was just kind of happy that we were just able to do it still. I mean, it's definitely a little different than what we usually do at QuakeCon, but we wanted to make sure that it's happened as well because they reached out to us and said, let's try and get this done. So it was kind of the first time we've really done something like this online. We've done it in the forums, we've done some other
Right.
things, but kind of like this. So we had some glitches at the beginning, like everything else does, which I was about ready to just
Throw it in. That's
oh,
it. I'm done.
it was a bottle of half bottle of bourbon or something went away. I'm pretty sure that happened.
Little, yep, little eraser on the chalkboard of life right there. I just need to forget about this day. That's it.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it. I'm
no,
done.
yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, Dwayne was spitting nails because some of the stuff that he had designed and was working and everything's fine, and he kicks it loose and no.
It was like the minute it went loose, it was like, oh, are you kidding me? And I still don't know why. And I still to this day I worked on it for like 3-4 days straight, and I still don't know why what
Well,
happened. So
it all came together. It all came together. So
yeah, we did we did it. So, but we appreciate it. It was really short notice. So I mean, I think we had a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe to try
yep.
and get that all out there and get it going. So, but again, we've got some good things. So it was a learning period for us. We're gonna really like it. Maybe we'll even try to do maybe something else throughout the year, or maybe not because there's so much hassle.
we've set our baseline. I hope we've set our baseline, and everything from here forward should be just each year improved, or each iteration it's improved. So if we're going to make problems, we're going to make new problems. We'll just
Yes,
leave it at that.
yes, I'm sure we will.
Yes. We are good at making new problems. That's what modders are. We don't make the same old problems. We make new problems. That's what we do.
That we do. But yeah, it was great, and but we did keep the same classes. So we do have the in Bethesda, we do have the scratch build, and we do have the classics. So pretty much the same rules kind of applied, except we adjusted the rules a little bit before we want to make sure it's like kind of a new mod or whatnot. We actually relaxed them a little bit, went back, said it could be as old as 3 years. So we've had one or two that were probably close to that edge, 2 years or older. And
Hmm.
what was kind of nice is that we got international people that entered the contest, not just local.
Ooh,
So we got a lot of
yeah,
international people, which is nice. Some of them you've
yeah,
seen, and some of them you haven't seen, which was kind of cool as well. So
right,
I was really hoping truthfully, I was really hoping for a lot of the newer guys to be out and to see what they could really do.
yeah,
Again, in the rules, it's like we don't care what your hardware is. Okay,
right.
you have $10,000 worth of hardware, but your case looks like crap. It looks like crap. So it's not the hardware; it's what work you've done to it.
What you do with it is what you do with it. Yeah, I mean, and I noticed that a couple times when I was reading through the pre-work on some of the case mods, and what some of the people were talking about. Some of the stuff that they were referring to or that they were spending their time on was the specs of their system, and I got this processor and I got this gee whiz bang video card and I got this excellent type of memory and I got it clocked to this, and it's like okay, that's great, and I'm happy and I'm proud for you, but case modding is not about wowing me with your hardware. It's wowing me with what you do with it.
Exactly.
And there's some people out there that get it, and there's some people that need to learn that. And it's just one of those things. You can have incredible equipment and drop tens of thousands of dollars on drool worthy electronics and
Yeah.
still have a
Eh.
case.
Right.
Eh. Yeah,
Yeah.
and and that brings up another point. You've really got to understand this. Each year case modding goes up a level. And so what was wow, a year or two ago is, eh, I've seen it. Show me something new. Show me something unique. Show me a creative way of doing your tube routing, or show me a creative way of getting your water from point A to point B. Manifolds have now become all the rage. These water manifolds that people are putting in that are specially made for cases, and so you end up not having these complicated tube bends. You end up having fairly straight tube bends. It's maybe one bend, coming out of the manifold and then going to your CPU and then out of your CPU and back into the manifold and then drop down a little bit and out of the manifold and over to the video card and out of the video card and over here to the manifold. So it adds for a level of cleanliness, but it also gives you an option for lighting effects, or for if you have a pearlescence or some sort of an additive in your water to give that that kind of movement effect. And those were cool, and they still are cool, but now they're starting to become commonplace. And so what's the next thing going to be? Who's going to be the one to take to step it up that next notch? That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah. That's the hard part.
Yeah,
Trying to come up with something that somebody else hasn't done. But
right,
sometimes you might take a little bit of what somebody's already done and expand upon that.
right, right.
So stuff like that, like one of the mods that was in the contest, I noticed because I kept looking at his cables. I'm like, looking. I'm like, what is that? And I think what they did is they used O-rings. They used a series of
Ooh.
O-rings and used them to make the cables nice and tight.
Hmm.
Because I'll have to show you later. It's like I think that's what he did, and I want to ask him if that's what it was because I couldn't figure out how he cut all the cables right. And I'm like, he just didn't run a wire or something around it. And I zoomed in as close
Right.
as I could. It's like I think that's an O-ring instead of
Hmm.
making the cables nice and tight. So again, I had
So
not seen that before, but it looks pretty sweet.
interesting. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. Yeah, there's some unique stuff that came through this year. And I'm just saying this because this person is a longtime friend of QuakeCon. He's a longtime participant in all of our modding competitions. Before we even step through the slides and step through the judging and the results, Dave, Cathey, I love what you did with those cables. and you guys are going to see it here in a little bit, and you guys are going to be just as equally as, oh my god, what he did with his mod and his cables. But I could wring your damn neck for putting wood over that cabling. I was just no.
Well,
It was. We'll
Dave,
get there.
Dave was the one that had, I think, O-rings.
Oh, okay,
So go back and look at the pictures and zoom into them. You'll
okay,
see that
I will.
you'll see like it's probably about maybe an inch, and it's like it's round and just rubberized. It looks like, and I kept zooming in as close as I can, but it looks like O-rings that he used them.
Okay. All right, I'll
So
check it out.
yeah,
I'll check it out. I was just so wowed with what he did with this cable display. It's just beautiful and organic, and then I literally I screamed at my monitor, "What are you doing? Don't cover that up!" But, that was just me being animated while I was judging.
all right.
Yeah, it's passion. It's passion, folks. That's what it's all about. So, but enough of us rambling around. Let's get on to some case mods, Dwayne.
All right. So we'd like to thank, of course, QuakeCon for being able to do this. I mean, they've had the daunting task of trying to pull off QuakeCon online.
Yeah.
So hopefully that they can get that, and it's amazing that they've even tried to do that. Again, it sucks not being there, but if you can get there close, then that's kind of a great thing too.
Yeah, yeah. Peace, love, and rockets online. You're just
Yeah.
not gonna. I haven't been into the BYOC in the Discord channel yet. I don't know if they're doing the Howler Monkeys this year or not, but we'll find out.
Could be. So
Yeah.
I'd like to say as well is that, as you can see at the top and right now was Corsair. Corsair just jumped right in. Had a couple of meetings with them. They're like, okay, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And then they were actually the big supplier of mostly everything. So
Very cool.
it was really cool that they actually did that. Corsair. So the first place winners get they get a drawing. So specifics weren't picked because right now, as you know, products are kind of iffy in some places. But
Mhm.
all first place winners gets a dram kit, a power supply, an AOI, an SSD, and a 3-pack of fans. Very first
Mm.
place. Second place gets a dram kit, a power supply, AIO, and a pack of fans. So no SSD there. And then the third place
Mhm.
gets a dram kit, a CPU cooler, and 3-pack fans.
Cool. No
So
pun intended. Huh.
right. So that's pretty great. I mean, that's
Yeah.
plus actually they're going to be giving out some other little minor stuff. So they gave us a chance to be able to pick some things. They're like, hey, who do we think? And it'd be like hats and some T-shirts and some other little items such as
Very
that as
cool.
well.
I actually spent money. I think it was this QuakeCon or QuakeCon before last. Went by there and actually bought one of their Corsair hats. I
Oh,
also bought one of their
nice.
keyboards too. So that's what I'm using right now. So
That is
good
sweet.
stuff. Really good to see Corsair stepping up like that. Thank you very much, guys. Really, really, really sincerely appreciate it. Really sincerely appreciate the quality product you guys have been putting out. I mean, I myself am a huge fan of it, but that doesn't uh, manifest in your market share. Oh, Tech Daddy says it's the best thing in the world, so I'm going to go buy it. No, yeah, that and $3 will get you a cup of coffee. I mean, I really love what you guys have done with the enthusiast market. I love what you guys have done with the streaming market with your Elgato stuff, and your support for the RGB and the ability to customize, stepping into chairs. I mean, guys, you guys, Corsair is everywhere. I mean, they started off with cases. No, actually, they started off with memory,
Yep.
and then they went into power supplies, and then they went into SSDs, and then they got into cases, and then they got into peripherals, and then they got into chairs.
They're into
I
everything.
mean, they're into everything. It's
Yeah.
literally you can totally deck yourself out in the Corsair sales from tip to tail and just be rocking.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
And our other sponsor is EVGA.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So what they're doing for every first place winner is getting a 260. a 2060, a
The
KO
2060?
2060 KO graphics card.
Sweet.
So and plus, second place is going to get a PSU, so it's a
Cool.
650, and
Okay.
then every third place winner is going to get a Z10 RGB keyboard.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so these are some pretty good prizes for not having to do a whole lot of work because most of these mods were already done.
This is true. You're basically taking work that you've done and you're milking it for prize money. And that's good. That's fine. You're
Yeah.
still putting your work out there. You're putting good quality stuff out there and you're going to be rewarded for it. So kudos and thank you very much, EVGA.
Yeah, so let's go on. So the first one we're going to be looking at is going to be the in Bethesda case mods. So those are the ones that were supposed to be based off of anything that was in Bethesda. So the games, the company, logos, whatever you could think of about it, you could do that about it, and it could be any style. So it could be a scratch build, it could be a standard case mod, it could be a combination of both. It could be whatever it could be, but it just had to be based
Had to
off
be
of
influenced, intellectual property of it or Bethesda.
yeah. This is usually always the one that we have a little bit of trouble with getting people into it because, which is funny, is that in QuakeCon it's actually gotten bigger and bigger. The in
Mhm.
Bethesda one. So the first year we had like 2 or 3, and then we had
Mhm.
like 8. I think last year we had 12 or 14
Mhm.
in that category.
Mhm.
This year online a little lax. We had 2, so you know what? It's better than 0.
This is true. This is true.
It's
Yeah.
better than 0.
Better than 0.
Yes.
Not as many as we wanted, but hey,
Yeah.
2. 2. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you guys for participating. So who do we got inside the id Bethesda case mod
All
category?
right. So since there was no third place, there was only 2. So its second place went to
Drum roll, please.
Adam. So it was
Adam Owens.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know Adam, I mean, you can see inside the picture. I mean, um, you may remember him from the tank that you see in the background of the center picture. You also might remember him from the overgrown NES controller, the super controller that was actually playable, and you can see that at the bottom left-hand corner. And he's been a very active participant in the case modding competition. Adam goes DOHC Dragon, dual overhead cam Dragon. I think that's what he goes by.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is his submission to the case modding competition. Adam, step it up, buddy.
Well, I mean, he even said it because what's funny is like he gets a hold of me earlier, right? And he's like, "Hey, my buddy's in there, gonna join it, blah blah blah." So that's cool. He says, "I didn't join this year because just didn't have time." And then all of a sudden, I get a text, "I'm joining." Like, okay, so he literally made this mod in like 48 hours.
So
So
this is based off of Rage,
yeah,
and it is a remote controlled truck.
yes, yeah.
I'm assuming. I mean, in the tank's instance, he was driving the tank around. I don't know if he was able. I don't know if he'd be able to drive this one around.
I don't know. You know what? He didn't put that in the comments, but
He's well, I'm just looking at the power supply. The power supply is like a low hanging set of ox balls. I don't think he's gonna be able to drive this thing around.
probably not. But again, it's kind of those cool things that you can set it up like he's got on his desk there,
Yeah, yeah,
rock climbing and stuff. So
yeah.
uh,
He's an enthusiastic, and if I remember correctly, looking at these pictures, this this truck was I think it might have been a prize or something at a previous QuakeCon because I think this truck is autographed. I
yeah,
want to
John
say it was
Carmack,
autographed. Yeah,
John Carmack signed it.
yeah. So neat little tidbit of trivia there
Yeah.
on the Rage uh, case mod there. So that was our second place.
In the first place, and let's see, who do we have? Yeah, Rob Wilson.
Rob. All right,
Yeah,
so your case needs a shave,
definitely.
but
Definitely got something going on there.
right, but this case was based off of
I
this
cannot
was off of
say the name. Khajiit? The
yeah,
race of cat people in the Elder Scrolls?
yeah, but see that's cool because this one was a Bethesda IP, not an id
Correct.
IP. Like a lot of people tend to just think of, id Bethesda and they think Doom, Quake and Rage or something like, that. And really appreciate Rob bringing in the Bethesda IP on this. So yeah, this the symbol of the on the fans in the front, I believe that was 3D printed and
Yes. Yes. So he actually did. I think it was the symbols at the front and also on top is 3D printed. He's got the fur on top there, which I'm kind of wondering how much it affected the temperature inside. But I looked it up because truthfully I didn't never played Elder Scrolls, so I had to
uh-huh,
look up to see if this case represented what he was trying to make, and it
uh-huh.
does. It does. Yeah, it
The
kind of
Khajiit.
yeah.
All right.
So it came out very well, and great job. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Congratulations. Way to go, Rob. Way to
yeah.
go.
So
I did a case mod. I think it was my second case mod I ever did. It was a case mod called Bling Green, and I put blue felt on the inside of the case because I wanted kind of a crushed velvet look, like kind of like an old 70s pimp suit or something like that.
right.
Not knowing the background of this case and not look the minute I saw it, I saw like 2-inch shag carpeting in my old Uncle Ronnie's 34 coupe that he had. He had a purple 34 coupe and he had this like 2-inch, it was this hair that like you see on the outside of this case, except it was all purple and it was standing up and that was all over the inside of his car. And so when I first saw this, the first thing I thought about was riding around with my Uncle Ronnie and that damn shag carpet tickling my feet. And then I read further and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what this is all about. This is cool. This is cool.
So next up we have the classic case mods. So that is anything that's we considered that at least 80% of a retail case has to be left. So I mean you can cut it up, do what you want to do it, replace things and whatnot, but it has to be based off of a retail case.
Right,
So that's why we call it the classic case mod because that's where everything started. People weren't doing
right.
a lot of the scratch builds. So this is which is funny is sometimes I've seen that kind of a trend as well is like that used to be the more popular one to do was the classic case mods, but I've
hmm
seen where
hmm
where it seems like it's leaning more towards the scratch builds now.
Well,
People,
yeah, and
yeah. So what we've got here in this one we did have lots of entries into that one, and we do have the top three. And number 3 is
bring it. Kevin Daley of this is the old Milwaukee.
yes, is the Milwaukee Tools.
Milwaukee Tools. I said
Yes,
old Milwaukee. I'm
I,
thinking old beer. Oh my God. Milwaukee's Beast. Sorry. Nope, that's not it. Don't. Jesus. No, this is a spectacular case mod. This really is cool, and the story behind the Milwaukee case mod is actually really neat. And the fact that it went into a display, it was like a retail display center for Milwaukee power tool products. Did it not?
yes, actually, it's his personal computer at work, and he works in the Milwaukee tool room.
That is so cool.
So he handles all the Milwaukee tools, and he's the guy that's in the showroom and sells all the products and stuff. And this is what he's done. Uh, and this is his computer that he does actually use at work.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That is cool. Yeah, I mean, totally an ass kiss when you're dealing with the Milwaukee brand name like that. That's really cool, and it's you did a great job of cutting everything out and keeping with the theme, and the diamond plate detailing on the back was awesome. I'm a huge fan of that. Your cable management was spot on. Uh,
yes,
but the Milwaukee logos splashed all over the inside of that with the lighting and the I believe they were the fans were, let's see here, Auroras. That was the InWinds, the InWin addressable RGB fans. From those things are really pretty. They have a beautiful reflective property to them. If you guys have never seen the InWin Aurora addressable RGB fans, they're really they're a really nice. They have a really nice lighting feature to them. And then, of course, you've got within the case, you've got the matte black tubing, and
Yeah, which was cool because that actually adds to the idea that it's industrial.
yeah,
So it didn't have to do. I thought it was a much better choice of than trying to do hardline tubing is
right,
doing the black tubing, the flex
yeah,
tubing that way. And one of the little details that I looked as well is, so he's painted the motherboard and everything's the same red color, but he also did the cable combs. Looks like he's painted the cable combs the same red.
oh wow,
So that's one of the touches that people need to learn as well too. Is you don't have to have like 1,000 different colors. RGB. No, you don't have
hmm
to do that. But if you pick a few colors and you try and stay with that, it
hmm
actually makes the mod more consistent and more
Ex-
yeah,
cohesive,
cohesive.
yeah, totally get that, and that's actually one of the points I was wanting to bring up. And this is just I stand on a soapbox whenever I have a chance to do this, to talk to the audience that would actually respect and understand this. When you start hearing people talk about RGB fans, and people that put in the RGB fans and just run them in like rainbow mode, okay, that's the basic RGB mode, and a lot of people are fed up with it, and I get it, I understand that. But the great thing about addressable RGB fans and lighting that's inside cases is that you have the world at your fingertips. It doesn't have to be a unicorn puke of color. It can be like what Dwayne was just talking about, a specific standardized set of colors that you repeat throughout your case, and you do it tastefully. In
Yes.
this case, it's red and it's white and it's black. And
Yep.
that's the colors. And with addressable RGB fans, you can have a lighting effect that's red and white, or maybe that's red with dim spots in the middle for the black. I mean, there's so much that you can do with addressable RGB stuff, especially now that the motherboards are doing it. So you don't have to standardize on a specific vendor. You can experiment and test and tweak with different things. But the main thing is exactly what you're talking about, Dwayne. The use of just a couple of select colors, and to be used strategically and optimally, is, I think, one of the most awesome things that we've been able to come up with now. We're not stuck with a white LED fan, or we're not stuck with a red LED fan or a blue LED fan. The fan can be whatever we want.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah.
I do like that. So second place.
Second place. All right. Ooh, can't wait. Ah, Alessandro.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna totally butcher your last name, because I'm guessing I'm saying Zaiti. Zait. I might be putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. I'm not sure,
I don't know.
but
You did a lot better than
Alessandro.
I would.
Hey, this is a really neat case, folks. The devil's in the details on this case. It's it's a really unique use of materials, and even on some of the more common materials that were used, uh, they were created and performed in a unique way.
Yes.
What were some of the things that you liked about this case, Dwayne?
Again, well, it's going to go back to what we were just talking about before. The amount of colors. So
Hmm
when you look at it, there's about I'm going to say about maybe 4 different colors in there, right? So
hmm
it's not overrun with the coloring, and that he's changed the case in just about every way you can think of, actually.
Yep.
So I do like that the centerpiece where he's actually made that. I think it was resin,
hmm
and that he's made that, and then on one side he's got the motherboard and the GPU, and then on the other side he's got all the water cooling stuff,
hmm
and it's a 360 type of case mod. So you look
And it's
anywhere you look is something that is different about it, and just some of
right.
the pieces that he's done. Um, which is cool is that what he explained in his was the same thing. Kind of, I'm sure it always happens to us. Is that he had a vision of doing it one way, and it came out a different way.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kind of like he said. It says I'd like to call it controlled chaos.
Yeah.
And I've
Yep.
had that many times experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Sometimes you gotta alter your plan.
yeah, the one thing I did, what I was trying to figure out on this one, and from the pictures he sent, I couldn't see it. But where the heck is the power supply at?
I know that the power cables are all that everything is down in the feet and
Yeah,
in the area of the chassis below to the bottom of the motherboard because that's where all the cables route to.
there's not that much though, because some of the other pictures you see underneath them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of figuring out. I wonder if he used a smaller one or did something, or it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of tucked. Or he might have hit him in the pictures pretty well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I like about that one, and I thought it
Yeah.
was well done.
Very well done. Yeah. If you look on the far left picture that you have posted here in second place, you can see that the motherboard cable kind of moves. It's off to the left. No, the motherboard cable, the 24 pins actually off the top, and then there's another set. I think it's the secondary
Yeah,
motherboard cable that's off to the left. And then if you look in the middle, where you're looking at the back of the motherboard panel, so to speak, where you're looking at the two pumps that are right there off of the bottom. If you look to the bottom right of that, you see where the cables are feeding down into that space.
yes,
I mean, all of the cabling. I mean, the cabling, the tubing, and everything on this. It doesn't go where you expect it to go. You
right.
have to really kind of look at it. The devil's in the details on this thing, and it's a really unique build, and it's a really well articulated and well constructed build.
It is.
So yeah, really enjoyed looking at this piece. So Alessandro, great work, man. Great work.
All right, so then that means after second place, there's only one other one, right? That's
Oh,
first place.
yep, yep. So let's go to the first place modder, and for the classic case mod, that would be Ali,
Ah,
the Iron Maiden. This thing, I, 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 I kept looking at I was waiting for, Japanese anime to pop out of this thing at some point in time. I was so blown away by all of the details of this thing.
yeah,
Just,
it's so much onto it. I mean, when you first look at it, you don't see a case,
yeah.
but there's actually a whole case is still inside of that. He just built on the outside and some
Hmm.
some of it on the inside. But yeah, it
Hmm.
is actually a PC case in there.
It's amazing,
It is.
amazing work. And this, I'm gonna step out on a limb. I'm gonna go ahead and call it this work of art that we had uh, the privilege to look at. The write up on it is impressive. Walking us through, really appreciate pointing out some of the details. You know, the I think there was one part in here that, hold on, let me find it here real quick. He was talking about a candle that was used for confession.
Yeah, it's on the front side of the case.
Yeah, and if you blow the candle out, the candle will, okay, if you blow out the candle, then the whole array of yellow fire flickering LEDs all over the case, those extinguish as well. And then if you
Wow.
light the candle again, all of the rest of the flickering LEDs light back up. And then they react to music that's played. This thing has an internal speaker system that's built into it as well. But he's got a photosensitive diode somewhere near that candle to where if the candle is lit, it acts as an on switch. And when you blow the candle out, the diode says, "Oh, I'm open, and then it stops all of it. Fuck.
Yeah, it's just part of the little details. He goes into detail about details about details about details.
Uh-huh. Oh, let's not forget the fact that this is 100% handmade.
100%. You can actually
hand-driven tools.
Yeah, you can actually go see the builds and stuff. So
Yeah.
again, so what was kind of amazing, like a lot of these guys pointed out, is the same thing as like, oh, must have done this and that, blah blah. Sure, there was some 3D printed in some of the guys' stuff, but most of them that you see are all handmade.
Yeah.
They really, that's quite amazing that they can do that.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Man, cheers to you.
Yeah. So
cheers to you, Ollie.
Great job. And then up next is the Scratch case mods.
I'm feeling kind of itchy. It's just scratching. Oh, not that kind of scratch. Okay. All right.
So as you know, a Scratch case mod is built from anything other than a retail case. Now you can use some parts from a retail case. Sometimes people use a motherboard trays, or they use this or that, but very minimal stuff can be used from a retail case to put into this. So
right.
These are the ones where you can just let your imaginations just run wild and have the most fun you can building a PC case.
How many submissions did we have this year for Scratch case?
9.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, for a very quickly put on competition, getting the word out there, that's a decent number of Scratch builds.
Yeah, I mean, we had a week and a half to put the word out, so
yeah.
So
hurry, give me,
hurry. All right, so number 3.
All right, what we got? Boom. Dave Cathey.
Yes.
All right. So here is where I was screaming. Okay. The picture on the left, if you guys can see that, how beautifully organic his cable management is coming out of his motherboard tray, and it's the center of the center mounting point for his motherboard and for his video card and for the backside where this power supply is at and everything like that. But if you'll look at that cable coming out for the power to the motherboard and the power to the video card, it's just organic. It was sweeping. It was beautiful. Beautiful. And I'm not saying that I don't like the wood touch. The wood touch is nice, but if I spent that much time making that cable management look that good, I would let that be the focal point. But he wanted to make a piece of furniture. He had his vision, he had his design, and the wood and back cover accents were beautiful. But Dave, if next time I see you, I'm probably going to choke the shit out of you. I died when you covered up that cable management, man. That's just beautiful work that you did there. I'll kiss you on the cheek and then I'll choke the shit out of you next time I see you.
That's better than what you've done to some other people. Again, one of the cool things is, like, so you can see the wiring that's there, right?
Yeah.
But the other wiring has all disappeared. Right? He's only used the minimum amount of wires that he needed to actually make sure that it was running. And then down at the base, down at the front of the side of the base, all the wires that turn it on and off actually go through the wood over to the side.
Oh, that's right.
And it has the buttons on the front.
Yep.
So he's actually cut pieces out of the wooden plank on the bottom and put the buttons in there.
Yeah, that's right. So they're just minuscule areas of they're like almost like recessed wooden buttons. You have to kind of look and see that, oh, that's actually a button, and then push on it.
Yeah. So a wonderful job there, Dave.
Beautiful work, David. Yeah, beautiful work.
I am just sorry we couldn't see it in person, though. We probably would have saw it at QuakeCon this year.
Yep. Very pretty. Yeah. Beautiful work, man.
All right, so we got one more after this here, so it's got to be second place.
Second place, because we's good at math. Dante Mutti, the high voltage. This is a cool mod, and again, this is another one that I was hung up on because of the cable management. All of that power supply and that green cabling that you see going around it, that was actual cable that ties into the motherboard and ties into the power supply.
Yes. Yeah. So what's kind of cool is with these kind of types of mods is that you don't have to be perfect, because
True.
making it look as it is now, like you were talking about all the cabling running on the outside to actually do something, but the way he mounted it is part of the aesthetics to make it even look as cool as it did.
Agreed.
So there's actually, what's really hard to do is take that and, how do I say it? Make it look good but bad at the same time. You know, it's a plan, like the other guy said, it's like a planned chaos. You got to make sure, like, this is gonna be good, but if it looks too crappy, then it looks like crap.
Yep.
So you have to have this vision in your head and do it just to the right amount. And
distressed to just the right level.
Yeah, I mean that's what he's done with this one. I mean, he said he bought the oscilloscope like, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago or something, and it's just sitting in his garage. He's like, finally, he's like, I want to make a case mod out of it.
Yeah, and then I think the power lever that's on the side, the power box. There was a story behind that.
It's actually got the power supply in it.
Yeah, I purchased an old residential power switch housing at an estate sale with the intent of using it as a power supply shroud for my mod.
Yeah.
And it houses the power supply. The holes were cut to the vent, power switch, fan intake, rubber U-channel molding was used to make the edges look cleaner and a little bit more professional. So that's an actual former working housing.
Yep.
That he just gutted and put a power supply into it and then redid the cabling to work with the theme. Beautiful work.
Yes, that's what you have to do. Think of those themes and don't overdo the theme.
Right.
So,
yeah,
that's the other thing. But yes, great work. Great work in that.
Really enjoyed
There's
looking
always
at this
has
one.
to be a first place.
There's always a first place. All right, so let's look and see, who do we have for first place in the Scratch Case Mod competition. Go get them.
Yeah, Stefan
Go get them.
Ulrich.
Yes.
Man, so
beautiful. And this thing is huge.
Yes.
This is not like some little mini ITX build or a little Raspberry Pi thing. This thing is huge. It is.
Yes. I'm going to say it's probably 3 feet, 4 feet from tip to the rear to the engines. Actually saw it at CES. And it's the attention to detail and everything is just amazing.
Yeah.
The hardest part about the whole thing is that, where in the hell would you put it in your house?
Yeah.
Because you just can't set that on your desk or next to your desk. It would just be taking up a whole section. You might have to just get rid of your couch or something to put it in there.
Yeah. You need a big ass media room with a room to the side for this computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the LEDs, the cockpit, the canopy area, BB-8 has lights that's integrated into it. You can see the video card is in the chassis right behind BB-8 in the far right-hand screen. If you look in the center screen, one of the things that it's like you look at it and then you look at it a little bit more, and then you're like, "Oh shit, I didn't see that." The ends of the laser cannons all each have matching blue LEDs, like they're primed and getting ready to fire at you. I mean, you've got canopy controls, you've got what looks like cockpit controls and switches and dials, and that's where the liquid cooling flows through. I mean, it's like it really is in the details on this thing. It's so big.
It is.
So when you're looking at something so big and then you get down to those details, normally you start finding flaws. Because when you build something big like this, it's made for the walk up. It's made for the 5-foot approach. It's not made for close inspection. You get up close, you start finding out all these little crappy things. But these pictures are taken up close.
Yeah.
and it's still that good.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's great. I've been within inches of
Oh,
looking right at it.
yeah, I
One of
think I
the
see a drool spot on it from you.
probably, but what's weird is that I think what is one of the coolest features that is on this thing that probably 90% of the time you'll never see is
Hmm.
because it's the engines. So
Hmm.
he actually made up LED rings that go inside the engines, and
Oh,
then when it's turned on, like you turn in the engine on, it
yeah.
changes colors. So it starts off
Oh.
blue as a cool, and it starts doing the circle thing, and it's blue, blue,
Hmm.
blue, 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 and it sits there, and then for a little while, then it starts going yellow. So it starts warming up, and then it goes red. So when
Oh,
the engines are all full blast, it's got a different color coming out of the end of it, and it's like
that's cool.
it's really really cool. But you never get to see that inside
Mm.
of this. But yeah, just one of those amazing work. It said it took him 9 months to do it.
Shit, it would have taken me 9 years to do this, and it wouldn't look half this good.
But again, amazing work by these guys.
Yes, yes. And Stefan, thank you very much for submitting this case. I mean, this is well, submitting this work of art. I'll even step out and I can see uh, from your crafting and from your attention to detail and from your willingness to put, you know, 9 months of your life into building this, that you are that you are a Star Wars fan.
Oh
And
yeah,
I mean that's spectacular in and of itself. I love seeing Star Wars fans get rewarded for enjoying their faith in their hobby. So
yeah,
this is
and he did it.
beautiful
He
work.
did it for him. I mean, sure, he had some
Mhm,
sponsored hardware, but he did it. He's
mhm.
got it. It's not like, hey, I
Yeah.
made this for somebody. He's got it. It's his house. So
Did,
it's awesome.
did okay, and now and you'll forgive me for this, and I hope I'm not um, diluting anything or taking anything away from the X-Wing mod. Did Stefan do another? Did he do a destroyer mod? There was a guy that did a Star Destroyer mod. Did he ever do one of those?
I don't remember if that was him or not. I know exactly which one to get, and I get pictures of that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I got to
I
see
don't know
that
if
one
that.
in person too. That one was
Not sure.
huge.
And yeah, and I'm not. Again, I'm maybe he
You know
was
what?
influenced by the guy that did that. I don't know, but it's just this is a really 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 beautiful piece,
It is. It is.
and
Now
it's
it is a 3D model. I mean, people probably go, "Oh, he just downloaded it off the internet and then just printed it out." No, he actually designed it
yeah.
because right now, what you won't see it, but I'm going to add in all the extra information that these guys gave us because they gave us links to their videos and all that stuff, and
Hmm.
it'll be on
Hmm.
the website. And I'm going to do the same
Excellent.
thing with this, so you can go in there. And you can actually see what he did and how he had to design it because he had to
Hmm.
figure out each little piece for each little probe that comes out on the wings. The wings actually open
Hmm.
and close as well.
Mm.
So, but you guys can go into the website and find out that stuff as well. So again, you know, awesome stuff.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
So we've got a couple of like special recognition stuff. It's those guys that are like, you know, almost. You almost had it
Almost.
there. Some great ideas, maybe, but almost.
Yep.
That
Okay.
didn't quite make it.
Okay. All right.
But
So let's see this. Let's see what you got going here, man. Drum roll, please.
okay, I have no idea how to say his name.
Yeah, Borgonovi.
Borgnovi,
Gian Gianluca. Gianluca.
So sorry about butchering your name, but the case was I looked at it and it's like some great ideas. So he actually built it. So it was not going to be his daily, but it would be one that was going to use for 3D printers and CNC machine.
Hmm.
And um, he had some great ideas that he was working on, but it's one of those where it's almost, I mean, literally like almost.
Hmm.
Some of the things just don't match well enough together. It's
Hmm.
like great concepts, but it's like if you would have tried to maybe put the design in a little bit better. Like in this one, where the picture's on the left, it shows that those are actually speakers in the front.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And then he made the front cover there. It's like, oh, that's great. But then it kind of goes back, and he did some 3D printing, so he's done the sides where it holds on the panels and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
it lost a little bit of coherent stuff,
Yeah.
cohesive
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got some cool things in there. It's like, so like the graphics card. So he moved everything over into the middle of the case, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he's got a graphics card in there, and he's got the graphics card held up by a chain, and he's got all this
Mm-hmm.
cool stuff. But it's just missing.
It's yes, it's not quite there. It's kind of like a splinter in the mind. You got a little bit too much, a little bit too many different design
Yes.
Um, influences that you're trying to push through. It was
Yes.
kind of forced. It's like, this could probably be doing good if you could have done a case like your front panel and figured out a way to incorporate that graphical movement, the circular and the angular of the back and
Exactly.
forth, and figured out how to move that through the case, and instead of the
Yes.
black and white with the skulls and the chains, and then the kind of future organic look of the front of the case. So yeah, it was almost there. It was almost there, but it was just a little, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just so close.
Yep.
The next one, most people go be like, what?
Whoa, what?
See?
About like that? Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So Andrew did, this was a Node 2 or something? Is
Mhm.
that what it is?
Yep.
So and it's supposed to be a Geiger counter. So he 3D printed a lot of stuff, did really good jobs, got great details, really did some cool stuff. But for me, I'd hate to say it, there was just minor little things as a judge you look at, and it was like, crap.
Mhm.
Like you can see in the picture with the lid open. So he's got
Mhm.
the LED strip it's kind of laying in there, and it's curved.
Mhm.
It's not like
Mhm.
tucked in, and you can see some other wires just kind of laying in there
Mhm.
flat.
Yep.
It's supposed to be rough, and it's supposed to be like it's been used,
Mhm.
but the Wi-Fi antennas are perfect.
Right. And the striping on the back next to the Wi-Fi antennas is perfect.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that needed to be beaten up a little bit.
Mhm.
Part of the
A
things
little bit
that,
more distressing.
yeah, it was just a distressful thing, is because
Mhm.
then you can see some other pictures which we don't have in there, is like the handle. The handle should have been a lot more distressed than I
Mhm.
thought it was,
Right.
and then where the key was. So he did a great job of distressing around the base of the key,
Mhm.
but where you would actually turn it, you would be distressing and hitting the kind of like where the arrow is, what it shows on the
Mhm.
arrow
Mhm.
on the picture on the left.
Yep.
In that area, it was not distressed.
Right.
So it's one of those things to me is if you're trying to show it to be like that, you
Mhm.
got to kind of think of those things,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
that was the whole concept of this mod, was that it was used, it was supposed to be, like thrown around, and when you miss some of those things, it kind of throws off the overall appearance to me.
Right. As we've judged these things, and we've told people this from time to time, and we'll use this platform right now to go ahead and tell you right now, if you're going to call attention to it and you're going to show it, you're going to be judged on it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. If you don't want people to see what is potentially a detracting or um, a detail that's not congruous with the rest of the case mod, figure out a way to photograph it or position it or show it, or whenever the judges are coming by. I don't I No, I am going to say this because it's part of the competition. It's part of knowing your product and being able to present stuff. Um, Call attention to the details that you want recognized. Don't call attention to the stuff that may end up being a detractor from your score. Case in point. Perfect example. We had a wonderful case mod at QuakeCon one year, and we walked up and we were talking to the guy. And while we were talking to the guy, he opened up part of his case. And when he opened up his case, his cables weren't managed. They were laying around. And I'm like, I'm here to judge your case. You don't need to be showing me this. You shouldn't be showing me this. I couldn't
Right.
say that to him at the time, but that's
Yeah.
one of those things. If you're going to show it to us, we have to judge it. We
Yep.
judge everything on the merits of what it is we see. And in that picture right there that was submitted, you're right. That's that LED strip that was just laying there and some of the cables that were seen. I could see it, and because I could see it, I had to judge it.
Yep.
And you're right. This was a great concept, and it just wasn't the details didn't mesh together completely with what the vision of what it should have been. And so, yeah, a little bit more distress and a little bit more action and roughness to it.
Yeah. Yes. And but for like, I think it was like his first full case mod like this. Great job. Just need to learn the little bits that we just said.
Yes.
If he would have done that, it would have been like, this is like perfect. But just minor things. So that's again, it's actually he's he missed it by 1 point.
Oh,
1 point. So close, but yet so
one point.
Yeah,
that sucks. Well, great job, Andrew.
Yep. And then we got one more, which I was personally surprised didn't come up higher, truthfully.
Oh, yes. This was a cool mod. This was a cool build. I really, really liked this build.
This is hand build.
Yes.
From the floor up.
Yep.
Every piece is hand built on this this one. It may not look like it, but it is. Again, I'll put the links in and stuff, and you can see how he's done it.
And
he shows in all of his work logs is how he made it. And when I first saw it, I'm like, whoa, what the hell? What kind of case is that? What is that? And then I actually went and checked out his work logs. I'm like, holy smokes!
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he used aluminum and plexiglass. Did an awesome job. His own design.
And the lighting on the case is all cohesive. So when you have it red everywhere that the plexiglass lights, the ambient light that seeps out the front becomes red. The eagle, the Black Hawk becomes red. The side window becomes red. I mean, it's a really from a if you were to see this at a LAN party, walking up to it, it's probably a very intimidating case to walk up to. And they're Allen-headed screws, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
They're not rivets, they're Allen-headed screws. Yeah.
Yes. Which was a great detail, and he used that everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was a nice detail to put in there, because that's what like military would use, or heavy duty vehicles would use, the Allen heads, not regular screws. So he placed that everywhere, and kept colors cohesive with everything.
Like we were talking about earlier, you keep it you one or two colors, and he did black and whatever the ambient light was.
Yes.
That was it right there. The power switch, you'll see the vandal switches on the right hand side. Those would change color, if I'm not mistaken, with the rest of the lights of the case.
Yeah. Super cool.
It's
super nice.
Beautiful case.
So again, I think it was one of those that was like 1 or 2 points. Most of these was really came down to just a few points between each.
Right.
But I really enjoyed that one the most.
That's a really good looking mod.
It is. I'm surprised somebody doesn't snatch that up and build up a regular case like that, like a retail case.
Yeah.
And well, that brings us to the end.
Oh, the end. Well, the end of the modding competition, not the end of QuakeCon at home.
No.
No.
So Yeah, so pretty excited. Got a lot of stuff there. Again, thanks to all the great sponsors, Corsair and EVGA, and all everybody who entered the contest. It was awesome to see a lot of these things. Some of these I've never even seen before.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is really, really, really neat. And
Yeah.
like I said, I wouldn't mind if we maybe did something throughout the year, but it really kind of sucks not being at QuakeCon. I really miss everybody, and
We missed you too, Dwayne.
yeah, no, that's part of. I was one of the big events. I mean, I've gone to
Yeah.
Computex and CES and all over the place, and QuakeCon is like the funnest one to go to,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and have the meet everybody and talk with everybody, and it's
It's a
next year.
very accessible event.
It
It's
is.
one of the most accessible events, and the vendors really get into it, and all of the participants in the BYOC get into it, and then you have all the foot traffic that comes through, and those people are getting into it, and it's just a very enthusiast grade event. It's not a professional floor show. It's not a trade show. It is gaming with a side of gaming and a heaping helping of gaming on top of that. So
That it is.
if you don't come in with your energy level up, you're going to get run over, and it really is. It's a lot of fun. So
Yep.
yeah, we miss you guys. We really do, and we hope everybody's safe and healthy.
Yes, we do. And you know what? We're going to see you next year at QuakeCon because they've got to do it. And I know they're going to
Absolutely,
do it because this year was supposed to be the
absolutely.
25th year.
Yeah,
So I think it'd be even bigger and better than for next year because it'll be the
yeah,
25th and 26th together. But
yeah,
start working on your case mods now and
yeah.
get them there
Absolutely.
because there we do the big one. That's the U.S. Case Modding Championship, and we typically
Hmm.
have anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 worth of hardware and prizes to give away.
Yep, yep.
So
It's exciting.
it is.
Very
Uh,
exciting.
but yes, I'd like to wish everybody a great time, have fun, be safe.
Yep. See y'all around. Peace.